Alright, let's switch tracks to the big story of the day, which is going to be the Sabarimala temple reopening today for 2 days. Now, last time around when they opened, there were clashes, there were protests, reporters were heckled, and houses of women who tried to make an attempt, they were attacked. Is this time going to be any different is the question really. We're going to be discussing that over the next few minutes. Joining me is going to be Mr. Nambiar in the studio, who is Ayappa devotee. We also have Brinda joining us, who's a women and child rights activist from Bangalore. And we also are joined by Arsha on Skype. She joins us from the States. I'm going to give Mr. Nambiar the first word on this one. Is this time going to be any different, considering that last time you got so much of criticism for taking law in your own hands, for not going through the legal route? Is this time going to be any different? Can you give us an assurance that no protest, no vandalism, no violence will take place at the doorstep of your Lord Ayappa?
Sonal, it is a truth that the apex court of this country has given a verdict about Sabarimala, wherein the women of all age group can enter. But please understand, this is not the end of the road even when it comes to the legal battle. The Constitution had given us the right to, even judges can go wrong, so there can be a review petition. The whole issue of Sabarimala today is not the hurriedness of the Chief Minister and as well as the LDF government, the way they wanted to conduct this whole stuff, that by whatever means they wanted to get the women of this particular age to the defense place. I don't think that the issue is not about the vandalism, what is happening. You must have seen in the visual.
The issue is not about vandalism? Is that what you're saying?
The vandalism is primarily, there are 2,000 policemen. This is you yourself have said, there are 2,000 policemen.
Women journalists sitting in cars trying to just do their jobs were attacked, and you're saying it's not an issue?
Come on, Sonal. We all know that what is happening in Kerala is that the normal devotees who wanted to go to the shrine, they have been going and performing their pujas with so much of devotion from the last so many years. How many women have gone?
What about women devotees? I remember women activists and other journalists who tried to make an attempt. One of them was even a devotee. She wore a black kurta, had the headgear on her. She observed her fast.
Sonal, precisely,
she did everything.
You said it all.
200
precisely,
meters
Sonal,
before she was stopped.
Precisely, Sonal, you said it all. Just imagine that a woman have to be a woman activist. I would not call her, she's not at all a devotee. She has to be carried in the police uniform, wearing a headgear and a helmet. Is that what the government of the government should do?
That's
is that a government should do
felting.
To get a divorce?
Okay, I have to get in Brinda on this one. Brinda, how do you respond to Nambiar at this point, who's saying it's not even an issue?
Mr. Nambiar, this is the issue. Intimidation, threat, fear that you have put into every woman devotee who wants to go there. You use the word vandalism. Let us also attach rampage to it, because the protesters over there who claim to be doing a peaceful satyagraha have done nothing but violence, are on a rampage, and it is a absolute patriarchal thought process and a sanskari ideology where you do not want women to come in over there and pray. You and your protesters are preposterous to suggest that women of the menstruating age going there might be tempting that deity, and that is preposterous. You are expecting a deity so powerful to be tempted by a mere mortal woman? How preposterous! And you are appropriating the blame on the women, and you are defying the Supreme Court ruling, the Supreme Court judgment, only through your fear, intimidation and threat that you have issued to women. Nothing more, nothing less.
Also, Brinda, coming on the fact that what happens now, I've been, really curious to understand what will women do now, women devotees do now. Has this vandalism, violence that you're talking about, that we all saw, which is extremely, extremely unfortunate, if not absolutely illegal, has that managed to deter women from making attempts this time around? Is this going to ensure that they stay back, or will we see women come out in larger numbers this time around and say, no, come what way, we will go and get what is our legal right?
No, there is this fear. Women will not come out over there. Let us understand and accept that women are mothers, wives, sisters, and they have a family to look after. Now, because they want to come in there and pray and show their devotion and pay their respects to the deity, they are afraid that these protesters who did not spare journalists, mind you, journalists who came with a lot of other people to cover that, these people did not spare them. They used bad language. They have hurt those people. Some of those protesters kicked journalists, women journalists. How can devotees come there? Will they come there even to pray? They are afraid for their lives.
Yeah. Asha, also joining us from the States on this one. Asha, is somebody who's watching what's unfolding here in India, in Kerala, over the past 5 days when the gates were open, then today when it opened now. What is your reaction? How do you see this all unfolding? We've been talking about a great political subtext to it all, but not to get into that. Just to understand what it means for women devotees who are just watching it sitting far away.
According to me, for every devotee, irrespective of any gender, any age, if she is or he is a real believer or a devotee, they should get the permission, or they should be able to go there and do the worshipping. If somebody really want to go there and do the puja or pray for themselves, they should be able to do that. Who are they to say no?
All right. Who are they to say no, really? But perhaps we are going to be seeing, as Vrinda was pointing out, that there are going to be lesser attempts this time because the violence has managed to deter people on this one. Mr. Nambiar, coming on the fact that this is quite sad. I'm actually aghast by the fact that you're saying that the violence that unfolded at the doorstep of Lord of a temple is not an issue for you. But today, as you sit in is this debate, do you want to appeal to your people to say that violence should be kept at bay? That's the least one can really do.
I don't know where this whole story is being created, as the devotees are the one who is creating vandalism or getting into the violence.
So who else?
Absolutely, it is the state government. Let me ask you, Sonal, this.
The state government was not the one beating down the cars and hitting journalists. Let me tell you that. We have very clear visuals of that one. There was no state government over there. In fact, state government has come under fire for non-action at this point.
I am not denying that the fact that there have been issues there, which is definitely it is an emotional issue for a large amount of population. Of course, there have been issues. I'm not supporting those little violence or whatever had happened. What the main issue, we are not understanding the core issue. The core issue is that the apex court had given a verdict which is absolutely in favor of the women of all ages to go there. There is no doubt and there is no denial in it. The whole issue is that generally when the court has, in this case, the apex court has not given any directions to the government to immediately act on it and implement it or come back to them or anything. But what the government, they took it completely, it is an opportunity to implement their aesthetics.
Okay, I have to stop you there. I think you have not understood the Supreme Court order at all if you say that. I'm just going to give Vrinda a closing comment on this one. Vrinda, go ahead.
There is always a review.
The Supreme Court of my country has given a verdict that every woman and child of every age, menstruating or not, can go into the temple. The opportunity has been used by BJP, RSS and the Sangh Parivar to go there and say that we will not allow women and we will get other women to come onto the road and stop us. And you did not simply stop at being non-violent. You have been violent, which is the fear that you have now instilled into every other woman devotee who will not be willing to go there. And you are blaming the state government. Why are you not blaming all the Sangh Parivar who have come there and who have issued intimidation and threats? Who have shown, we have seen on TV, journalists being beaten up. Now which woman devotee wants to go there and get beaten up? She's going there to pray.
In fact, I just want to correct you there. It's not just the BJP and the RSS and the Sangh Parivar, like you say. There have been Congress protests over there. There have been other political parties present as well. So let's not just, limit it to one political party. This is spreading across. I'm sorry, I'm running out of time and I'll have to switch into slip into a break right now. But this is a story that we are tracking very closely here on NDTV through the day. We're taking a break. We'll come back with much more.